that I'm very sophisticated in sports. And now I'm starting to be sophisticated in business. But no, I do not know what this color is. What is this color? A little purple?
It looks like a lilac.
A lilac? What is a lilac?
Do you know what the brand is?
Yeah.
What's the brand? Oh, my God. You have to take the hat off.
Oh, yeah.
They would roast you on the red carpet.
Carhartt.
They would roast you on the red carpet. You don't know what you're wearing? Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff. That's a real New York brand.
Why I gotta be New York?
It's
New
not
Yorkers think y'all started everything. This ain't New York brand. This is culture brand.
No, I'm saying like in New York, like we really started the wave with that. Like we were. I mean, outside of people who used to wear it for like jobs, because like construction people are like heavy on that. But like in terms of like streetwear, I think the first flagship store was in Soho.
Probably, but Ashley, you wasn't even born when people was rocking this. Like when they started this.
I have crossbodies from them.
But it started.
I have beanies.
But it started in the 80s though. Like in the 80s is when.
From where?
Hip hop.
From where?
No, it ain't from New York. Philly. You got to throw Pittsburgh in there. You got to throw Jersey in there.
Nothing comes out of Pittsburgh.
What?
No swag comes out of Pittsburgh. That's gone global or universal or statewide. Nobody's like, man, I saw this dude in Pittsburgh. He was rocking this. Let me go ahead and put this on. Nobody does that.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. You ain't never used to. Yeah,
so you're talking about a Wiz Khalifa song. Did that have people walking around in black and yellow? No, it didn't.
Yes, black and yellow.
No, it didn't. He also made a song called "We Them Boys." How about them Cowboys?
Ooh.
He did.
Did he?
He did. We them boys.
Oh, that wasn't about the Cowboys. Yeah, but speaking about the Cowboys,
we took it.
You weren't here yesterday. It was a huge weekend for you.
Huge weekend. Fantastic weekend.
Did you go to the game or did you watch it at home with Cooper?
No. I was home with my dad and Cooper. We probably will be going to the Dolphins game, though. Christmas Eve. Dallas Cowboys will be here.
Oh, wow.
The Dolphins lost last night. We'll talk about that and how that, affects Tyreek Hill's MVP race. Or contention, rather. But, yeah, it was a great weekend. And it was great because we didn't just win. We demolished them.
Ashley.
We sent them home crying.
It was extremely impressive. It may be the most impressive Cowboys win in your lifetime.
I loved it. All the haters were real quiet.
Because Philly, listen.
Real quiet. All them Philly Crusaders were real quiet. No one's been hitting my phone. Certain talk shows have been awfully quiet with their analysis. I'm here for it.
I know we'll dive into it later, but I'm extremely interested in getting, your perspective on the game. And did you expect that type of outcome? I know you expected to win. I knew you expected it to be tough, but are you surprised? Because the Cowboys the last couple weeks put everybody on notice. For me, headline, Tyreek Hill. Watched the game last night, Monday Night Football. 2 beautiful games on last night. December football is shaping up to becoming one of the best Decembers we've had, especially since I've been around and watching the NFL.
Right.
Tyreek Hill goes down, and the Miami Dolphins look lost. The Miami Dolphins look like a totally different team. So Tyreek Hill, the most important player in the NFL, is that the question for me this morning?
So for everybody asking, Ashley, is your hair moving? It is. I have a fan on me. I'm hot. So I have a Beyonce fan. So if you see my hair going back and forth, it's not a special effect.
So
that's
bougie.
happening in real time. I'm hot. And
you going through menopause?
At 30, I would hope not. And yes, I did take the red out of my hair. I'm back to my dark color. Thanks everybody for noticing.
Do they really be paying attention to you like that?
It was a fun ride, but I'm happy to have my natural color back with a little bit of spaz in it. But yeah, so my headline from around the news today is the Lakers. Should they hang a banner for the in-season tournaments?
Can't wait to discuss.
I have my thoughts. Some may say I'm an NBA elitist, but that's okay. I'll be that. We'll dive into that in a little bit. First and foremost, Tyreek and the Miami Dolphins. So Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins did not get the outcome that they were looking for last night on Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. They blew a 14-point lead, and it came down to the wire in the fourth quarter that the Titans were able to go ahead and steal this one away from the Fins at home. Now, Tyreek Hill did injure his ankle. There is concern about it. Now, he did say post-game that he had texted his wife and said that his ankle was hurting. And his wife said, "Get your ass back in that game." And
That's what she said.
That's what he did. But there are still concerns that maybe that ankle is a little bit injured. But outside of just Tyreek Hill, who it's fair to say rather, that he did not look as explosive as we're accustomed to seeing him after the injury to his ankle. He definitely was just not as fast, not as explosive. He obviously was playing through a lot of pain. But Tua in the offense overall just could not get anything going after Hill went down. It was like they sucked the life out of that offense when Tyreek Hill went down, which I think proves furthermore, if you were already questioning what he means to the offense, is he an MVP? You took him out of the equation, and now you're looking at a drastically different Miami Dolphins team. So let's ask multiple questions here. Before we get into the Tyreek Hill conversation, well, I mean, what did you make of the offense with him out dealing with his injury back in that locker room? Is that concerning that so much of their success relies on one player?
It took me back to when I was playing as a number one wide receiver. You know, he's not in the space that I was in when I was putting a lot of pressure on the organization. Well, not the organization, but the offensive coordinator and also the quarterback. When you're a number one wide receiver and you ask for the ball, it disrupts a lot of things. And the offense, when you go against a really good defense, or if they have your number, it's hard to run efficiently.
Would you say that's what the Titans were, though?
Yeah, they were. I mean, before he went down, they it seemed like they had a decent game plan for them. And what I'm saying is, like, last year they did a phenomenal job with Waddle and Tyreek spreading out the wealth. This year, you see the frustration from Waddle, right? And so over the last couple of weeks, they've been trying to get him involved. His targets have gone up. But when Tyreek went down last night, it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like they were in rhythm. Why?
Right.
Because they've been force-feeding Tyreek all year. But I can't even say force-feeding because it's been working.
Right.
Right?
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it. So the challenge for the Dolphins, and they can get this right? Because they have explosion all over the field. They even got guys that they're not even getting involved. Like, where's Chase Claypool? Where's Robbie Anderson? Well, the Chosen Anderson, right?
Didn't they release Chosen?
But they brought him back. They brought him back, like a week later because a guy going. So they have playmakers, but it's hard to get in rhythm in the middle of a game when a guy goes down when you haven't really been spreading out the wealth. So am I concerned about the Miami Dolphins? I am not. Am I concerned about Tyreek Hill? I am not. Now, when we get to postseason, there's going to be some issues. And I've been saying that. I said that yesterday. You weren't here. I said it all last week when you were here and the week before that. I don't believe in Tua. I don't. And it's not because what will he do when Tyreek Hill goes down. It's not that. It's that he just makes decisions at times that can cost the Miami Dolphins in crucial moments, right? So last night was a devastating loss for the Miami Dolphins. Now you're sitting at 9-4. It would have been lovely for you to keep this momentum, go into the postseason, potentially with home field advantage. Now everything at this moment is going to run through Baltimore, but there's still a lot of football left to play.
Well, let's talk about it. We have a month left of the season, 4 games to be exact. And the Miami Dolphins, we don't know the status of Tua just yet, so we're not going to of Tyreek Hill, so we're not going to assume. But let's just go ahead and say that this ankle injury is not something that's a quick turnaround. Maybe this is something that, the Dolphins are going to be extra cautious with because, they are looking into the postseason. They are going to be there. And would you rather have your guy available for the real deal Holyfield, or would you want him, to go ahead and play some games that you should be able to win without him? Whatever decision that they make is the decision that they make. But looking ahead of their schedule, you have the Jets coming to Miami on the 17th. So this Sunday. They face my Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve.
You'll be in the building.
I will hopefully be in the building.
Bring the good luck charm.
Christmas, New Year's Eve, they are at Baltimore against the Ravens. And then on the 7th of January, they face the Buffalo Bills. Now, depending on where the Bills are in the standings will determine whether or not they get the full throttle Bills or get, the second unit Bills. But those are still a few games that could go ahead and,
determine a lot.
And maybe change the course of the Miami Dolphins' future, especially if that guy on the lower third right there is not in the mix for any of them. So, still, any concerns?
Well, you said a lot there. There's no decision that needs to be made. Tyreek Hill's going to play.
Right.
This is the name of the game. Like, everybody's banged up right now. Everybody's dealing with something. I realized this early in my career that the best still give you their best when they're dealing with something. Mm-hmm. So for him to be able to come back out and play and finish that game says that he should be out there, this week in practice. It might be a Thursday, might be a Friday, probably be a little lighter for him, which is always a blessing, right? Because you can rest and recover from other things.
Right.
It's that part of the year. But he will be out there come Sunday against the Jets. Like, you have to. This is it. This is cream season. You don't got time to rest. Like, there's a lot at stake here. Like, it's not sweet. You got the Jets who just coming off a huge win. You see Zach Wilson? Ashley, did you see Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson heard the slander.
Yeah. We'll talk about that some other time. But Zach Wilson and the Jets, and it's a division rival. Like, you got to come with it. The Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills.
I mean,
will we be surprised? Will we be surprised if they go 0-4 down the stretch or 1-3?
All I know is if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, this is exactly what you need. You got the win against the Kansas City Chiefs,
right?
And Josh Allen, saved himself from a week worth of criticism, and with the Miami Dolphins kind of seeing a little bit of struggle in this last stretch of the season, it opens the division up for the Bills to maybe go ahead and sweep in and make their dreams reality, and that is to get into the playoffs, maybe even to run the table and make some noise.
That's right. And the last thing on the Miami Dolphins, I just had to do this calculation. 2,000 is still at stake for Tyreek Hill. 4 games left. He needs to average 114 yards a game for him to go over 2,000 and be the first wide receiver to ever do that in the National Football League. So he will be out there. But yes, Ashley, the Buffalo Bills, what team are we going to get? What Josh Allen are we going to get?
Hypothetical for the Tyreek Hill MVP conversation. Let's say the Miami Dolphins lose out, but Tyreek balls out. Still MVP?
If Tyreek Hill eclipsed 2,000 yards.
But the Dolphins lose out.
And he lose out, I'm taking out a billboard in Times Square campaigning for Tyreek Hill to win MVP. I might sit out there for 24 hours straight, no sleep. No, seriously.
You might not want to say that. Someone's going to hold you accountable for that.
After meditating this morning, all kinds of weird things can come up when you meditate. You got to let it go, and then you come back to it. But, I love being in that dark, hot yoga room and sitting there going through my flow and then meditating. All types of shit comes up. Mm-hmm. This morning, what came up was Bianca. Hey, Bianca. Can you say hello?
No, don't put her on camera with her stuff on.
Yeah, come say hello. Get
out of here.
Yeah, Bianca, she was excited last night, texting the whole team at midnight. Hey guys, the Giants won. Yeah. Nobody cares. Come in here. Look. This is Bianca. She's been on the team for a long time. So Bianca, you do anything you want to tell the people? Say go Giants. All right, go Giants.
Yeah.
Okay, we good now? All right, we're good. Okay. So after meditating this morning, what came up for me was, if Tyreek Hill eclipsed 2,000 yards, and I don't care what the scenario is, Ashley threw out there, they lose the last 4 games, but he eclipsed. If they win 4 and he eclipsed, we're taking out a billboard campaigning for him. Okay? So call.
No, you forgot the ladder. You said you would stay up for 24 hours sitting in front of it.
Yes, I will. I'll sit out there. In the cold, just give me a blanket.
In the cold, 65 degrees.
Give me a blanket, hoodie. Give me all my snowboarding gear.
Wishes. Drop that a couple degrees.
Yeah, I'm out there campaigning.
Okay.
So,
I'm here for it.
What, January 8th, 9th, 10th? Let's book it.
All right.
Let's book it.
I got you.
Okay, billboard. I'll give you our guy's name that gives us the billboards and everything.
I'm here for it.
All right, let's do it.
Right.
All right. It's really inexpensive, too, to get a billboard. in Times Square. Like, it depends on how long you want it. You know, like, if some people didn't even know that. Like, you can take out a billboard in Times Square. It could cost you $5,000, but it may only be for 15 minutes. But if you want a whole 24 hours, it's like maybe 30,000.
What were you going for? 5 minutes? You going for?
I don't know. I got to check the budget. You know, it's day to day. It's day to day. So I got to check the budget, see where we're at around January 8th.
So then again, you're saying unequivocally that Tyreek Hill's MVP standing, contention, ability to win the whole shebang has no bearing on what the Miami Dolphins do from this point forward in terms of wins and losses.
No, I mean, I think last night showed that Tyreek is, I mean, you got Dak Prescott. There's a lot of amazing guys out there. If you take them off their team, the team will implode. But last night highlighted that in real time. Tyreek Hill goes down. They lose to the Tennessee Titans. I like the Tennessee Titans. I picked them to be the dark horse before the year, and they are sitting here freaking at 4 wins, 5 wins, whatever.
Now it's like 5 and 8, I think.
Yeah, like I didn't expect that. I expect them to be, you know, the Denver Broncos. But it's the Tennessee Titans. They're not having a great year. Tyreek Hill goes down. Look, they lose the game. 4-point lead, 14-point lead.
Yeah.
And they lose the game. So it shows that. The reason why this is important to me is because, and sometimes we with all the animation and all the, the hand gestures can kind of get lost, but we've never seen any wide receiver do this before. We've seen a quarterback do what have the type of season that Dak Prescott's having this year.
Right.
Statistically, wins, losses, we've seen it before. We've seen quarterbacks do what Brock Purdy's doing, Lamar Jackson. We've seen it before. Have we ever seen someone go over 2,000 yards? No. And we're talking about some of the best, some of the best athletes in the world, all sports. Some of the best players in the National Football League. Play the wide receiver position. Jerry Rice never did it. Odell Beckham Jr. never did it. Randy Moss never did it. Chris Carter never did it. Steve Smith never did it. Larry Fitzgerald never did it. Justin Jefferson hasn't done it yet. If he goes over 2,000 yards, like, what are we talking about? Like, this is...
I agree.
Like, seriously. So that's why I'm willing to campaign. And you're going to be there with me.
I'll drive past you in the Uber. I'm not going to sit out there with you.
No, Ashley, you don't have an Uber. Stop capping. When Ashley goes to New York, she gets a driver. Because one time you went to New York and he's like, hey, what's Mr. James?
Yeah, I only use them, but I only use it for the most part. I use like Ubers and taxis. Like I'm a true New Yorker like that. Like
if you're a true New Yorker, you'd be on the subway.
I'm not crazy. I used to ride the subway, but like it's like it's the underworld down there now. It's a little bit too much.
All right, keep it real with the people, Ashley. When you're in New York, you get a driver, not an Uber. It's a big difference.
No, I've only gotten a driver once when I was in New York.
Fancy.
And that's because I had a bunch of meetings and it was going to take forever to get Ubers. But I'm a cab girl, Uber girl. I'll walk like
drivers.
No, you're the one
fans,
with the driver.
It's
hot. I'm hot. I'm
right
sorry.
Like, who are you?
Oh my God. Listen, speaking of who are you, let's talk about the Lakers for a second. So as we know, the Lakers have won the inaugural in-season tournament. And a lot of people were wondering if the NBA would go ahead and do what a lot of elitists like myself were hoping that they wouldn't do, and that is hang a banner. Now, as you know, there's been an MVP of the in-season tournament. There was a trophy given to the winning team. So the Lakers, LeBron James is named the in-tournament MVP, so the MVP for the whole tournament.
Let's go.
The $500,000 for every player on the team. I believe they also got a medal. So there's a bunch of stuff. Clearly, they also did champagne because they got the goggles on their head. Now we're talking about a banner. And there are only 17 banners hanging right now in Crypto Arena. And they're all for actual NBA titles. So NBA Finals, championships, NBA titles, world champion titles. Before we go ahead and dissect this and talk about this, let's listen to the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant.
Franchise does not hang division banners. It does not hang conference championships. We hang one banner and one banner only, and that's NBA titles. And you may not like it. You may think it sucks. You may think it's not great sportsmanship. Get over it. It is what it is. It's a city of champions for a reason.
Oh, God. Kobe, they don't make him like you anymore, Cobes. They don't make him like you anymore, Bean. Rest in peace, Kobe Bean Bryant. I miss you every single day.
That's your goat, right?
Oh my God, that is my goat. I had a dog named Kobe. Rest in peace to my Kobe. They don't make him like Bean anymore. He's a different beast. Yeah, some people are gonna call me an NBA elitist. That's fine. I'll be that. Here we go. I think it's ridiculous. Like, okay, I understand the premise of the tournament. It was to recruit people who don't normally watch, November, December basketball, give us a better product. It did that. Well done, Adam Silver. I was a non-believer. It's fun. There's some things that need to be tweaked a little bit.
Don't just gloss over that. Don't just gloss over that because you were one of the elitists that pushed back.
I'm an NBA elitist. I don't care. Here's the thing. I still think it's meaningless. I do think it's fun to watch. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of it. Like in the history books, are we going to go ahead and say the Lakers won 5 in-season tour? Like, who cares?
Possibly.
Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just enjoyable. So from an entertainment value, from a viewership value, from a recruiting people like you who only watch in March,
look, she gonna try
it's a success. I get it. It was a success. Awesome. Well done, Adam Silver. You even recruited an elitist like me. I think it's enjoyable. Why can't it just end there? We're hanging banners for an in-season tournament. You hang banners for chips. You hang banners for hardware. You hang banners when you are a world champion, when you beat out, the other teams in the league in multiple series, multiple ways from start to finish of a season. That is the ultimate prize. When we talk about Bill Russell, what do we say? More rings than fingers. We're not talking in-season tournament chips. We're not talking in-season tournament hardware. Stop it.
You're missing it, though, Ashley. You're missing it. See, when we have these discussions, we got to figure out what hat we want to put on and what hat we want to wear, right? Are we journalists? Are we fan? Or are we business?
Both. It's stupid.
You got to put the business hat on right now. Think about it.
Oh, my God.
Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was listening to Austin Rivers, and Austin Rivers had a statement where he said when LeBron James retired, the NBA is going to be in trouble. And there's a few reasons why. Okay, we can debate that after this. Let's debate that after this. So one of the reasons why is from a business perspective, like guys like LeBron gets it. The guys like Peyton Manning get it. They push our responsibility as athletes for the players and for the product is to push the game forward, make it better for the next to come. LeBron, you think LeBron really care about an in-season tournament? He's playing into the business of it. This is one of the things what Austin Rivers is talking about. This dude, for his entire career, has always understood the business on the court and off the court. So LeBron playing into it and being excited about it, like, he's just making sure that the game is in a good position. And this whole hanging of the banner thing, it's people got to take it serious. If they want
this
to really work, you got to get buy-in from the players. So who's going to buy in? It's going to be LeBron James. So LeBron James saying, oh, yeah, I love it. And, records are meant to be broken. But what won't be broken is being the first to do it. That's all LeBron James playing into.
But they also said that they're going to go ahead and add other years depending on how many in-season tournaments they win.
Yes.
This is stupid.
Yes, no, it's not. But you got to get the buy-in, Ashley, for you, me, and everybody else to buy in. The players got to do this.
The players did buy into the tournament because one of what was on the line, and also there's the competitive nature eventually came out. You heard guys say that in their post game, like, yeah, I wasn't a fan at first, but the competitive level these guys are playing at, made me a believer. You don't need them to buy in with a freaking banner.
Yes,
at the end of the day, do you want to throw them a parade too? Shoot, why don't we just go ahead during the All-Star break? Why don't we throw them an in-season tournament parade?
That'd be going too far.
That's the same thing. Banners are meant for championships. Banners are meant for when you go ahead from start to finish of an NBA season. You are the best team from the start of November or the end of October to the end of June. You were the last man standing. This is fun. It's entertainment. It's going to go ahead and help the viewership of the NBA. It's going to recruit people who are more on the casual watcher side of things and maybe get them to watch November, December basketball. That's great. You don't need a banner for that. A banner is for championships, and you're diluting what a championship means by making this a banner. It pisses me off.
So let me ask you this question. All right, let's say it's not a banner, because I like now you it's kind of thought provoking.
Hang it right next to the 2007 world champions. Like, come on.
So listen, it was thought provoking when you talked about the parade, right? Like that would be going too far for me. I don't think the banner is going too far, because you have to get people to buy in. And why are you getting people to buy in? Is because the product, Ashley, you got to admit it. Like, please, this product, like the product for years have been trash since like the early 2000s has been trash come the start of the NBA season up until March.
That,
it's working.
But it was working before they made the announcement of the banner, though. They just made that announcement.
Yeah, but you got to be consistent with the product. If you want this to continue for this to be something that we enjoy for years to come, you got to get buy-in from the players first, and then that will trickle down to us. Yeah, but you got to make it a thing.
Brandon,
you got to make it excitement.
Whether or not you hang a banner, because look, the banner announcement came after the tournament had already ended. That was not something they originally planned on doing. They already knew what was at stake when it came to the money, when it came to the trophy, the MVP, like all of that. The players, at first, some of them were like not fans, and they bought into it because of the level of competition. You don't need to recruit them. If you're a competitor, you're going to compete, especially when there are things at stake.
Right.
You heard Julius Randle. I'm pissed. I wanted to go to Vegas. Like, there's already things in place that make it worth their while to actually compete.
So would you like the ring?
You don't need to hang a banner.
What about the ring?
Next to the banners of the two-peat Lakers.
Can they do the ring? Can they do the ring? Like, you know how you have, like, you go into NBA arenas have this as well, but in like football, you know, we don't have banners. We have that ring, right? So the ring of honor, where you see the names, the legends up there. So would you be opposed to not a banner, but when you see the ring and it shows, you know what I mean, the in-season tournament champions?
I mean, it
got to be somewhere, Ashley. So where can we put it? Can we put it in the ring?
I mean, if you really want to, the banner is like, look at where NBA champions for the Lakers. Look at all those years. That's when you were the best team every single year from start to finish of the NBA season.
But see, you still have the fan and the journalist hat on. Like, you have to put in the business hat. Like right now, for me, I'm solely with the business hat, and I've had that hat on since they announced this. I've been a big fan because, like, I just believe the product has been terrible. And now we got people, and from a business perspective, you got to get viewership up. You got to get more people. You got to expand it to new audiences.
You've already done that. They said that the viewership for this in-season tournament was higher than last year's all 5 of their Christmas Day games. You've already accomplished that. So what I'm saying is, what is the banner? How does the banner make or break
because,
that?
like, if we don't believe it, if we don't think that, like, this is really a thing, if you don't get buy-in from the players don't want to really win this thing.
They're already bought into it,
yeah, but you got to give the whole experience. You got to give the whole experience.
No, but my issue with this is, and again, call me an elitist, whatever, is that you're diluting what it means to win an actual NBA championship. Because if you're not willing, if you have an issue with the in-season tournament getting a parade, why are you okay with them getting a banner? The banner and the parade go hand in hand.
Because I think
that's for champions.
It's not equal. I don't think anybody is considering this equal to a championship, to a finals experience.
They're treating it like one. We're going to have a ring ceremony at pregame.
And just like you said, though, but think about what you said earlier. You're like, look, I was one of the elitists, NBA elitists. It's like, I'm not for this. I like the product as is. Now all of a sudden, you and even NBA players are saying, "I dig this." Y'all sold me. Y'all got me.
It's enjoyable to watch. That does not mean I need a banner for it.
I understand that, but what you also said is, I really enjoyed this. You got me to tune in, but there still needs to be some tweaks. That's what you said. So, Ashley, what other tweaks? Give me those tweaks, because these are the things that we're talking about. Like, this in-season tournament thing is going to continue to evolve over years because it's been a hit so far, but there's people like you that's going to speak on the tweaks that needs to be made. So what are those tweaks?
I think that when it comes to those last set of games prior to determining who gets into the tournament, who gets into the semifinals and the knockout round and stuff like that, point differential doesn't really work in basketball.
Right.
It works if you watch like the soccer style tournaments, it works because their scoring margin's drastically lower. So you can go ahead and do that. So like in a game, you're lucky to see a soccer game that has 3 goals. Like it's just, the game's different. When it comes to basketball, what's stopping somebody? Like if you watched when the Warriors were playing against the Kings, for example, they were playing at a drastically faster pace than even they would like to, because they were trying to make up the point deficit to go ahead and get into the next round of the tournament. I think that also that benefits the team that's playing on the last day, because you already know how many points you need to go ahead and score in order to get in. It also benefits the team that plays after so if you have an 8 o'clock game or a 7:30 game, then you have a 9 o'clock game, and then you have a 10 o'clock game, the team with the advantage is the one that's last, especially if the earlier game was also in their conference. Right. Now I know, okay, I need to go ahead and beat this team by 30 plus points. Let me go ahead and run I just feel like it gives certain teams an unfair advantage. The point differential doesn't work in basketball. That's right. I think that needs to be adjusted. Other than that, I don't have an issue. And I also think like there should be a playoff ramification. Like the winner just doesn't get $500,000. The winner also gets an automatic playoff spot, maybe like a play-in spot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think there could be a little bit more of a ramification in terms of playoffs. Outside of that, I think
Should it stay in Vegas or should it travel?
Yeah, it shouldn't travel. No. I don't want to see this game try to be brought to Utah Cleveland.
Again. Yeah,
no. So keep it in Vegas.
Don't do with the All-Star.
The benefit is guys want to go to Vegas. It's a nice little break. Vegas is a cool city. There's cool stuff to do. If you win the tournament, it's a fun time in Vegas.
Talk about it.
Whatever you get into in Vegas is your prerogative. Whatever you do in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I love
Vegas. I think that it should stay in Vegas. I think that that's the appeal for a lot of guys, getting to go to Vegas the middle of the season or early in the season. I think that's kind of where All-Star misses the break a lot of the times, misses the mark a lot of times, is that All-Star, for example, because I understand the ideology behind it. You're trying to bring revenue to smaller markets. But you have to think, if you're a player who plays in Cleveland, right? Do you really want to go to Indianapolis for the All-Star, or would you rather be in Turks and Caicos for a week? Yeah. If you bring the All-Star weekend to sexier cities like a Miami or a Dallas or Houston or an LA or wherever, or Phoenix, name the city, Vegas, then you get guys who actually want to be there and actually want to participate. There's a lot of guys who may be there just for the All-Star game and they don't fly in until that Sunday. Or maybe they're doing the skills challenge. They do the skills challenge and they leave, because you have to remember that's your break. And if I play in a cold market already, in a small market, do I want to spend my week in Utah? Mm-hmm. No, I'd rather be in Mexico somewhere. You know what I mean? So I think that needs a little bit of work with the All-Star weekend. But yeah, keep it in Vegas for sure.
All right. Well, listen, you bought in. And hopefully listen to your tweet. We should have a list of Ashley's demands.
And I know that people are like, oh, if the Knicks won it, you'd want a banner. No, I wouldn't. So y'all could laugh at us for the rest of the, more? No.
How are the Knicks doing, by the way?
We're doing good. Right now, if the season ended, we'd be in the play-in. We won last night.
That's okay. Go ahead, finish.
I mean, it's early in the season. We're not bottom of the barrel. I think we're 7th right now, so we're right outside the playoffs. We won last night, and we won last night with missing a few people. Some people are beat up, injured, but I'm good. I'm happy.
What were we supposed to debate? You brought up something. I said we can get back to that. Do you remember?
You said that the NBA is in trouble when LeBron retires. I totally unequivocally disagree with that.
Did you hear Austin Rivers' comments?
Totally disagree with him too.
Why?
I mean,
it's his comments.
If you're watching basketball right now, the amount of young talent that is flourishing right before our eyes is insane. I mean,
Devin
Booker is going to be incredible. He's continuing to get incredible.
Thank you.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have De'Aaron Fox. You have De'Aaron Fox. The Kings in general are just killers. John Morant's coming back in 7 or 8 games. You can't forget about him.
Yeah, but John Morant, we don't know when he's going to pull out another pistol. We just don't. Hey, you seen him in court? They had him do the check. You see that video going viral? He was like, can you show us what a check means? He was in court doing. Did you see that?
Yes. They were showing him what the check means. You also can't forget about the guys in Boston. They're young. Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but
Jaylen
Ashley,
Brown.
you
there's
haven't named
superstars already and superstars in the making across the league.
You haven't named one guy where it's almost like consensus, where it's like, oh, he's the guy.
I just said Jason Tatum, superstar. Devin Booker, superstar.
Who is the guy? We had Michael Jordan. We had Magic. So we're talking about that. We're talking about in that conversation.
It depends. I mean,
LeBron has held it down for 20 years,
not
but
the guy for everybody. Some guys are Kevin Durant
yeah,
guys.
but he's not. He's not. You're
Some
right.
are Steph Curry guys.
But even the guys even the people that saying that's not my guy, still knew that he's the guy. Like, okay, cool. You have KD. You have Steph Curry. Those are all the other guys you named. But at the end of the day, everybody over the last 20 years knew that LeBron is the guy. Like, that's the guy that if you trying to be the guy, you gotta knock him out.
Yeah, but okay.
So who is that guy? Is it Joker? Nobody's following the Joker like that.
We forgot Jokic. I mean, he's
Embiid.
What I'm saying, Brandon, is when LeBron retires, yes, it'll be a while maybe before we see a prospect as just hyped as him have a career like him. And I was saying this when I was watching the Suns and the Lakers go at it a couple of games ago. I said it may be a while until we see two guys in their 30s go at it like this. I mean, KD's 35 years old. LeBron's almost 40. He's 39, close to 40. Like, that's a privilege to be able to watch like this type of player play this long. So I feel extremely lucky. But to say that the league's in trouble, I disagree with that. You have Jokic, who's still very young. You have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. You have, like I said, the guys in Sacramento.
Michael Jordan passed it to Kobe. Kobe passed it to LeBron. LeBron is passing it to who?
It depends on who.
No, you got to give me an
answer. First of all, Kobe
What?
didn't pass it to LeBron.
Well, I mean, what I mean by that is like...
Because when Kobe was playing, you were either a Kobe guy or a LeBron guy.
I know, but Michael Jordan didn't really pass it to Kobe. What I mean by it is like you knew who the face of the NBA was. It was MJ, then it was Kobe, because they crossed over as well. They battled. And you had guys like Allen Iverson. You had the Shaquille O'Neals of the world. You had all those other guys those guys. But who is the guy? Kobe? LeBron to who?
I feel like there's a bunch of people who could be the guy. It depends on what you value. Jokic could be the guy. We're talking about the 2-time MVP here.
See, the guy is also like, this is what makes the
you really want to go through Denver and have to face him?
It's not even about that. Luka? You're just talking all ball. I'm talking about like MJ. We're talking about cultural relevancy, the impact off the field or off the court. Excuse me. MJ, Kobe, LeBron. When they show up, like everything changes in the city.
The game's also changed. There's a lot of international players in the game, so like that impact is not just about the States anymore. Now it's worldwide.
That's true.
You have Luka, you have Jokic. I mean, those are two of the biggest players in the league right now. I mean, and then you have young guys who are still trying to figure it out.
LaMelo's balling. You didn't even throw LaMelo out there of all those names you list off. He's on a heater right now. But go ahead. You have
Zion, if he can, get his body right. Zion's a beast when he's playing at his best.
Yeah, he's a beast. I heard what Stephen A. Smith say. They say the chefs. He said the chefs, they can't wait to meet him. They say he eat everything and the table. He said verbatim.
I'm mad that Austin Rivers even said this because I can go down the list. You have Giannis still in the league.
Yeah, but
you have freaking Wemby who hasn't even hit his ceiling yet. The second highest prospect since LeBron James.
I don't think he's saying that it's not going to be exciting. It might be more exciting than ever because you're right. Like, we're talking about talent across the board. It's exciting for sure.
Okay.
But we're talking about, like, man, it's something special having that face of the NBA.
Yet. I think the cool thing
we should know right now. We knew when LeBron entered that.
Remember, but you're talking about a different era where when Kobe came in, there was a drastic fall off between Kobe and everybody else.
Yep.
Same thing with LeBron. Same thing with Jordan. That's not to say that there weren't a lot of great players, but like there was Jordan, then there's everybody else.
That's right.
There was Kobe, and then there was everybody else. There's LeBron, and then everybody else. The cool thing about the league now is that the guy can be in so many different places. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't know who it is. We are in an era of basketball where I feel like we have seen the best of the best athletes in this league consistently. Like, they're coming out of the draft ready to go.
Ready to go.
Like, it's not a drastic fall off. There's a lot of superstar talent in the league, and it could be anybody. Devin Booker could be the next face of the NBA. Maybe it could be Wemby.
Marcus J 2020. I agree with him. Like, I feel like Luka, could be that guy.
Luka's
like, I really
nice.
like, because what you brought up earlier was it's not just about the States, it's international.
Yeah.
Luka's an international player. I really like Luka's game. But I just feel like the NBA is culturally relevant. The NBA has cultural currency. The NBA is like, it touched so many different sectors of business. And I just feel like whoever the face is got to have that cultural currency. So I love Luka on the court, and I think he can, but off the court, does he have enough flair?
I think it could be Book. I think it could be.
I think Devin Booker. But Devin Booker has to put the plan together.
No,
it can't be Tatum.
What do you mean it can't be Tatum?
It can't be Tatum.
Why are you a Tatum hater?
I'm not a Tatum hater. I love Tatum, but it's
could
like
totally be Tatum.
You know who Tatum is? Tatum is. Let's think of Tatum is. So like quarterbacks, right? Like faces of the NFL.
Okay.
You got, I was going to go old school, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. All right, let's go new school. You tell me who the comparison to Jason Tatum is in this era of quarterbacks. Is he Patrick Mahomes? Is he Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott? He's Dak Prescott. That's who he is. That's who Jason Tatum is.
How is JT...
So let's take away last year's discussion, even like the first 4 or 5 weeks of this year, where people still was a little bit cold on Dak Prescott.
Okay.
He's super consistent.
Right.
And he balls.
Right.
But he's not bigger and better than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, so
it doesn't matter. That's who he is, though. Like, he is just...
Jason Tatum's a really bad comparison to Dak Prescott because Jason Tatum's been to the NBA Finals. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals. Dak hasn't been to a conference finals. He hasn't been to, a conference championship. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. So how is Jason Tatum Dak Prescott? If anything, he's Jalen Hurts.
Okay. You say he's Jalen Hurts. So
yeah.
You think Jalen Hurts is the face of the NFL?
You don't think Jalen Hurts can be the face of the NFL?
No.
It depends on
He's too safe.
And Patrick Mahomes isn't safe.
No, Patrick Mahomes just cussed out the whole stadium Sunday night.
Oh, my God. Nobody was scared of Patrick Mahomes when he was yelling at the ref. The ref was probably like, man, if you don't shut up, get out my face.
This is a good conversation. So you're saying, so that's how I see, and I'm not talking about wins or loss. I'm talking about, like, as an individual, the swagger, the performance, right? Because there's so many factors when it comes to team sports, right? Like in football, there's so many things that have to align for Dak Prescott to actually win a Super Bowl. There's so many things that there's not as many in the NBA. So Jason Tatum, he's cool, but I feel like Ja Morant has more of a chance of being the face than Jason Tatum.
Nah, Ja Morant is more of an AI. AI was never the face, but he was like culturally celebrated. He was culturally like the GOAT. You know what I mean? He was culturally impactful.
Yeah.
Ja Morant has that, like, with the kids and stuff. Kids love Ja Morant. Like high school kids, those middle school, like, they love them some Ja Morant. Jason Tatum, though, has that old school mentality of Kobe Bryant. If you hear him speak, he takes a lot of Kobe's ideologies and he's applied them to his game. Even the way he approaches how load management, the idea of it's very Kobe-esque. Same thing with Devin Booker.
I love Devin Booker.
Jason Tatum's been to multiple finals. He's been to multiple conference finals. He's shown that he can be on the big stage. And although they haven't won, he's only 24 years old, I believe. Like, his ceiling. Think about what
Jason Tatum only 24?
I believe the joke is he's 19, but like he's not 19. I believe he's like 24.
In LMA, he winning.
Look how much he's accomplished in such a short.
He's 25 years old. Thanks, Will.
Okay, look at what he's accomplished in just a short window.
Damn.
Like multiple conference finals,
Why does
multiple.
It feel like he's like 30.
Because he's accomplished so much. When I'm talking about the face of the league, Jason Tatum, he has a signature shoe. He already has the endorsement deals. Like, Jason Tatum is him. Like, that's why when people like try to discredit him as a superstar, I'm like, you guys are crazy. Look at his resume. only at 25 years old. He hasn't even hit his ceiling. He holds multiple records as a Boston Celtic.
Listen, speak on it then, Ashley. It took you freaking 2 years to freaking get to the point where you're kind of convincing me a little bit. Like now you finally saying something that's making me think a little bit. Christy O here. Brandon, wait a minute. All caps. Did you just say Booker is better than Tatum? Ash, you agree with that?
He's better in aspects. I don't know if I would say he's a better overall player.
Who you picking?
Devin Booker has a much better mid-range game than
yeah,
Jason
that's
Tatum.
insane. And that like it's like non-existent in this era of NBA, right? Like dudes don't play like that anymore.
And I think that Devin Booker also has a little bit more of a killer instinct in him than JT. JT sometimes, and this is again, he's only 25, so he can completely get better at this. There are moments in like big games where like he kind of like shrinks away from the moment.
I don't think you can get better at that.
No,
I think
you can.
I can go out. I'm at the YMCA every Saturday.
Not the YMCA. Jesus. I'm at LA Fitness.
Listen, you can go
there too.
And
when I'm in LA Fitness, I be giving guys buckets.
Stay with me here. It's gonna make sense in the end. I'm at the YMC every Saturday, and I've been there for the last year and a half. My 8-year-old started playing basketball organized. Now my 4-year-old's getting into it. Even at that 4-year-old level, they don't even play games; they just practice. Mm-hmm. You can see the killer instinct in the 4-year-old, 5-year-old.
I don't think JT doesn't have it. I just think it comes and goes.
Yeah, but I think there's levels to it as well, though.
Right.
Like he has it, but is it elite?
Yes.
Like you can killer instinct.
JT has an elite killer instinct. It's just at times it's inconsistent. Like he sometimes shies. JT's issue is my same issue that I have with Jokic. The instinct is there, but JT and Jokic have this like they want to get everybody involved mentality. And sometimes you got to be like, nah, you don't have it. I have it. Get out of my way. Period, point blank, teammate or not. Like you have to, that's the killer instinct that I mean. Like JT is sometimes so team friendly that whether or not his teammates have it and he's the one who got all the juice that night, he's going to pass the rock. He's going to try to get everybody. Same thing with Jokic. Like Jokic, your mans doesn't have it. Be like, yo, get out my way. Like, I got this. Devin Booker is that guy. He will hold on. He's not passing you the rock.
Yeah, even the KD. Like, I love it. I love their dynamic.
Yeah, even KD. Devin Booker's been on streakers and KD's been wide open. It's like, yo, I'm not passing it to you. Like, I got it. That's very Kobe-esque. That's where JT sometimes struggles. He's so team-friendly.
Woo, can we look up how old is Devin Booker?
He's 25 also, I think, or 26.
And how many years? Probably like 8 years in the league as well. I love Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker has the opportunity. This is the year where he emerges as the face of the NBA. Now they're not off to the start that I wanted, where I wanted them to be, and where they wanted to be. Probably.
He's 27.
Yeah, he's a little older. It's like, but this is going to happen.
8 years in the league. I didn't thought that.
Yeah, he's a little older, but like, hey, sometimes there's late bloomers. I think he's going to be that. Like his game is special.
His game
is special. Like if I had to pick for my son, that's what I'm gonna start doing. We're gonna watch Devin Booker. Actually, I'm about to jump.
I was a late bloomer. I get it.
I'm about to jump. And just give me the space to do this. You know, like I had to strategically pick the Nets as my basketball team, right? The goal was to raise
you about to jump ship
to players. Because you know my favorite player is what? Can I add two? Like no, I'm not going to jump. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the same thing I did in the league when I was playing and when I had Carmelo as my guy and then D Wade. I was like, you know what? I vibe with D Wade, so I had two guys. So now I'm going to add another one, Devin Booker. Mm-hmm. So Spider and Devin Booker.
How many Cavs games have you watched this year?
How many NBA games have I watched this year?
How many Suns
I
games
started
you
off
watched
great.
This year?
Huh?
How many Suns games you watched this year? Oh,
I ain't going to hold you. Listen, I started off great. Mm-hmm. I started off great. And I got lost in the sauce the last few weeks. I ain't even watched the damn play-in. And I'm a big fan of that. And I told you, basketball season doesn't start for me until March. I'll start watching in March for real, consistently. Right now, I'm watching highlights. I'll watch the game of the week, the game of the night here and there, but I'm not watching. I'm not watching all them games. Please, please, no, ain't happening.
So the in-season tournament didn't work for you then, huh? Because you didn't watch it. So you were up here preaching all this time.
I had the business cap on.
You were up here preaching.
You think Adam Silver?
I don't watch November, December basketball. It's boring. The tournament will make me watch it. I'll watch it if the tournament's on because that's going to recruit people like me. It's going to make it exciting. The NBA needs exciting basketball in November, December, and you didn't even watch it.
Watch this. I'm Adam Silver. Let's role play right now.
I don't want to role play Adam Silver.
Bianca, let's say Bianca is my chief of staff.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, can you pass me the KPIs and metrics? Let me see the report of the week. Hey, Mr. Marshall. Hey, Mr. Marshall. Did you watch the games last night? Hell no, I ain't watched the games in 2 years. I got a $10 billion business to run. I'm just looking at the numbers and the KPIs. Viewership is up. Brand deals, revenue is up.
And Brandon Marshall didn't watch.
And I got the business cap on.
But he was on the set of his show like, oh, November, December basketball. This is why the NFL is king. This is why the NFL wins.
This
is why the NFL's number one. Nobody's watching November, December basketball. I don't start watching till March. This tournament is going to make people like me watch. I just asked you if you watch, and you said you didn't watch a single game.
So then
it didn't work.
Okay, hold on. Time out. There's two things here. One, do you think Adam Silver watches these games?
Yes, he's at
Hell no. And when he's at the game, he's sitting down with the head of Pepsi. He's sitting down with the head of Procter & Gamble. He is there for business. This is all PR. He ain't watching these games. He don't even know what a pick and roll is. Adam Silver don't even.
You don't think Adam Silver knows what a pick and roll is? Do you know what a pick and roll is?
Does he look like he know what a pick and roll is?
Do you know what a pick and roll is?
Does he know what a pick?
Do you know what a pick and roll is?
These are the plays we start.
You out here throwing shots at people who don't know what a pick and roll is. Do you know what a pick and roll is?
Yes, of course. I know all of that. I played at a crazy level. Here's the other thing. Let me tell you why. What I'm saying is this. Like, I have the business hat on always. And so when I say people like me, I'm thinking about it like, yo, just from a fan's perspective. But I don't have time to watch all these games in November and December and in January. I don't have the time. Now, you can catch me in March. You can catch me in April.
The in-season tournament were a handful of specific games, and you sat up here on your soapbox for weeks when we were discussing
I represent
it. And Stack
that
and I were
demographic.
bashing it as non-believers, as NBA elitists, and you sat up here and
said,
it
worked.
Basketball needs a revamp because I'm not watching December basketball.
And it worked.
I'm not watching November. You didn't watch anyway.
No, because
so it didn't work on you, did it?
Because it don't have to work on me. I'm speaking as Adam Silver. I'm speaking as an executive. I'm speaking on looking at the numbers and the metrics and the KPIs. This is not working in November, December.
You are sitting up here talking about you love Spider Mitchell, you love Devin Booker, but you don't watch them play.
Yes,
so
I
what
do.
do you like? Their style?
I watch them. Cleveland ain't.
You said you didn't watch a single Cleveland game this year.
I ain't say that. You asked me, and I looked at you like this.
You ain't watched a single Suns game this year.
I looked at you like this.
And you know why that's hilarious?
I did. I have watched the Suns. Yes, I have. I watched the Suns. I haven't watched the Cleveland Cavs.
Which is hilarious to me because the Cavs at one point were in the in-season tournament, and you didn't watch them.
You know what? I'm dealing with some other shit right now.
All right. That's convenient. Moving on, guys.
I'm in survival mode right now.
Moving on, guys. Listen.
You know what? I can't wait. Let me tell you this before we move on. Okay, go ahead.
Bring it real close to me. Bring it real close to me. I just want to say something.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Ready? I just want to go ahead and say, how about them Cowboys?
Oh my goodness.
How about them boys? Listen.
Have a day. There you go.
Listen, some will argue that the three best teams in the entire NFL sit at top of the NFC East standings right now. The 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, and them Dallas Cowboys are all at 10-3. So it is a tight race in the NFC right now. And it basically all boils down to 4 games left. Now, if San Francisco wins out, they are the number 1 seed and will immediately get the all-important bye. That is the one thing that these teams are vying for, and also, obviously, home field advantage. Now, If the Eagles win out, they win the NFC East and will become the first back-to-back winner of the NFC East in about 20 years. And they also avoid traveling for a road playoff game. So there is a scenario where the 10-3 Cowboys team must travel to an NFC South opponent to open their postseason, and they are unlikely to play a home game for the remainder of the playoffs. So they would lose that home field advantage, again, that everybody is going ahead and vying for. Brandon, tight race in the NFC. This is why I say the NFC, specifically the NFC East, is the best reality show in football. Yep. This is the scenario that us as Dallas Cowboy fans were hoping for, just to get one game of that 3-game stretch where the Philadelphia Eagles were facing tough competitors, just needed one loss to come into Dallas and to even the playing field. The playing field is now even. It's a 10-3 three-way race in the NFC. But let's go ahead and look ahead. Dak, there may be a chance he's got to play a couple of road playoff games, and that's never fun. That's never easy, depending on where you have to go and play them. Do you trust him on the road against elite teams like you trust him at home?
Yeah, but I think we need to take a couple steps back. Yes, the answer is yes. But Ashley, this was a huge win, huge game, and I'm really curious about this. We ain't gonna just gloss over this moment. Is this, or where does this rank for Ashley Nicole Moss as a fan, biggest games in the Dallas Cowboys history over the last 20 years?
Best game of the season.
Of the season?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Best game of the season, best win of the season. Des and I were going back and forth during this game. He was at the game in Dallas. He was there with Gilly. And he had done a IG Live with D-Jack, and D-Jack was like, "Why are you so happy? This is your Super Bowl." You know how Eagles fans try to diminish when they lose. But I feel like best win of the season, because there's been a lot of question marks about the games that the Cowboys have won. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I mean, we have lost to contenders. We got washed by the 49ers, and then you also lost to the Cardinals, who you should have won that game. And the games that you have won, you won against, the Giants, easy wins. You won against the Commanders, easy wins. The Seahawks, although they play tough football, that's a team that this Dallas Cowboy football team, when you look at roster to roster, is better than and should win against.
Right.
The Eagles were the first game, I feel like, that has garnered the respect that this team deserves. Because although they've been winning consistently and Dak's been playing incredible since a few weeks before Thanksgiving, there have been a lot of question marks about whether this team could actually compete with somebody just as good or better than them. And for the entire season, everyone's been saying what? That the Eagles are drastically better than the Cowboys. The Eagles are drastically more primed to get into the Super Bowl than the Cowboys. And to go ahead and beat them, and not only beat them, but demolish them. It wasn't a close game.
That's right.
It wasn't a game that came down to a field goal. It came down to just straight bully ball. And that's a big win.
So I don't know if I articulated myself the right way when I threw out that question. But I feel like you, following this team since you was a baby, would say that it's bigger than just this year, the biggest game of this year. To me, it's the biggest game over the last 10 years.
No. There's been a lot of big games.
Let me tell you why. Because we got to think about it. It's been 20-something years since the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. We're talking about one of the greatest franchises, not only in the NFL, but in all of sports. Mm-hmm. The Dallas Cowboys, to a lot, is the butt of a lot of jokes, especially in sports talk radio, sports talk television. Mm-hmm. Oh, Dallas Cowboys. To me, that was a statement game.
Definitely.
That the Dallas Cowboys are true contenders.
Agree.
And that the NFC, I can't say it goes through Dallas because you got the 49ers playing amazing ball as well. They got back on track. Mm-hmm. But, you can't deny it. This is real. It's one thing, because everything you said, Ashley, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, oh, they beat the Giants. Oh, they beat this team, they beat that team. No, they playing really good ball, and they playing against, to me, I had them as the second best team in the NFL the last couple of weeks. You play against the Philadelphia Eagles and you beat them that way. Mm-hmm. That's a statement of all statements. So I'm like, I don't understand how you just say it's just the biggest game. I mean, for the season.
It's the biggest game this season. I would put it up there, and one of the biggest games for the Dallas Cowboys. But I mean, I can't. When I say it's the biggest, I would have to go through the ones that I can remember, and I can't do that off the top of my head right now. It's probably one of the biggest because the stakes are so high. But
yeah,
I say this to say that I think that in terms of just focusing on this season, it was an important game. That's why I said it was more important for Dallas to win than for the Eagles to win, because despite the inconsistencies in the Philadelphia Eagles, and there are inconsistencies, and if you've watched them play this season, we say all the time, good football teams find a way to win in spite of their shortcomings. And that's what the Eagles have been doing. But their shortcomings are there. And if you watch closely enough, you can see where their holes are. But they always seem, and at least when it comes to the media, get the benefit of the doubt that the Cowboys don't. And that was why this was such an important win, because despite how well this team has been playing in this last stretch of the season, the second half of the season, if you will, there's always been question marks about them. There's always been holes poked in what they have done really well to say, oh, accident waiting to happen, or it was a fluke, or it was just the Giants, or it was just the Seahawks. And that's not something that the Eagles have dealt with. That's not something that the 49ers have dealt with. So this was not just about beating a contender, beating a rival. This was about showing everybody who wants to say that the Dallas Cowboys can only win against a team that's less than them. No, that this is just as good as a football team as the 49ers, and as the Eagles, and we're going to show you by beating one of them.
And for me, I love talking. Like, you got to understand, like, I played, like, this was my life, my entire life up until a couple years ago. So, like, when I look at these situations, I'm putting myself in their shoes, and trying to, absorb the entire experience. So when I think about the psyche of these players in the Dallas Cowboys, it's like they're the hottest team in the NFL, and everything they overcame, and then beating the Eagles, a divisional rivalry, one of the best teams in football over the last couple of years, the way they did, like, these dudes feel like gods. So when you think about these last 4 games, they lose one game, and that's the last game of the year if they just sit their guys. But the Dallas Cowboys will beat the Buffalo Bills. They will beat the Miami Dolphins. So they're in Buffalo and they're in Miami, and then they go to Detroit. And I told you, sell your stock in the Detroit Lions. And you didn't want to listen to me.
Detroit's at home, I believe.
Well, yeah, they are at home. But I'm just saying, like, I told you about the Detroit Lions. So that's no competition to the Dallas Cowboys. And then they're at the Commanders.
So you say that the Cowboys can win out? They
can win. I wouldn't be surprised if they only lose one. It'll be to the Commanders, because you're talking about the last game of the season. Well, they could potentially be in position to say we're chilling.
Depending on how the Eagles do, you don't want to not play hard against the Commanders, because it would come down then to division record.
Well, that's what I mean. There's going to be so many different scenarios come January 7th. So that will determine how guys approach that.
Well, listen. We are going to wait and see, but it feels good to be a Dallas Cowboy fan this week.
Yes, let's go, Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Don't forget, I know Ashley Nicole Moss was born into this world, but for me, I said it in August. 2 early predictions. It probably was before August. It was before August. It was June, July. 2 early predictions right here on Paper Route. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? No, I ain't say win. I say who's going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys. Do you not remember that? So don't leave me out. And you said, Brandon, we got to see how the first couple of games go if we're going to let you in. I'm in. I never wavered.
Whose man's is this?
I never wavered.
Brandon, you haven't been on the bed. Your application got denied weeks ago. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ashley, have I wavered at all? I've always kept it real all season. I haven't. I said, damn, there was one time where I was like, yo, can I change? He was like,
exactly. And that is when your application got denied, because you faltered, you wavered, you backtracked. Like, yeah. Okay. On that note, it is now time for Yo, Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, NFL Rookie of the Week. Okay, we are back. Listen, it is time for Yo Rookie, like I said, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, NFL Rookie of the Week. And we want to go ahead and congratulate last week's winner. And that is Detroit Lions tight end Sam Laporta, who won for week 13. Now, Laporta had a huge game, 140 yards and a touchdown grab in the Lions win over New Orleans. So, congratulations, Sam. Week 13, there he is right there. Braden's favorite Detroit Lions.
A tight end? Okay, I like it.
I'm
Put
here
him on the
for it.
board. Put him on the board.
Listen, let's go ahead and throw up the nominees for week 14. There they are. Let's go ahead and run through these guys real quick. All right. We have
Couple new names.
a couple new names. I like that. I like having some new names. We have Will Levis right there. Led the touchdowns to a miraculous Monday Night Football comeback with a win over the Dolphins on the road. We have Bijan Robinson, had 88 total yards and 1 rushing touchdown for the Falcons. We have Ivan Pace, recorded 13 tackles, a sack, and an interception in the Vikings win. We have Brandon Aubrey, my kicker from the Dallas Cowboys.
Goodness. Yeah, our Cowboys.
Was 4 for 4 on field goals, including a 59er and a 60-yarder. Listen, former MLS kicker right there. This kid's leg is crazy.
Never played college football. Never played high school
He
football.
was an MLS star, and the way he kicked that 60-yard field goal with ease and then did it again, 59 yards, this kid is the real deal. We have Tommy DeVito. Hey, Tommy DeVito.
Did you see his agent?
His agent dressed like one of my uncles. It was so funny seeing like the shots of his family. You know, as I've said on this show, I'm half Italian from my mom's side, Sicilian, and seeing his family, the shot of his family, it's like, that's my family from Staten Island. It's absolutely hilarious.
Cool.
It's, hey, so Tommy DeVito, quarterback from the Giants, led the Giants to a 3rd win in a row on Monday Night Football with a win over the Packers. And last but not least, that guy up there, his name is Chase Brown. He's a running back who had 105 total yards and 1 touchdown in the Bengals win. And speaking of Chase Brown, Brandon, I think you spoke to him a little bit.
Yeah, I spoke to him this morning. So we recorded this. You know, he had a lot of work to do today, so I came in early while you were sleeping, and I sat down.
I was not asleep.
Yeah, 9:30.
How was I asleep?
Because you don't get out of bed till 10 a.m.
But how was I asleep if I was on the 9 a.m. production call?
Okay, maybe you just went back to bed. But listen, I spoke to him, but I want really quickly. Bijan Robinson, has there ever been a week he hasn't been up here?
Yes, there's been a few. But he's consistent. He's pretty consistent.
Unbelievable. He's outside of C.J. Stroud, he's probably the most consistent rookie that we have this year. But it's cool to see new names. And yes, Mr. Brown from Canada, super fly. I sat down and spoke to him.
All right, let's check it out.
Yep. Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Week nominees, a segment that we love, that's near and dear to our heart. We get to learn and hear from some of the best in the business, but they're just rookie. So let's jump into it. Yo, rookie. Chase Brown, what's up, baby?
What's going on, bro?
I'm chilling, man. So we got this cool little segment. We collaborated with Pepsi. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. You know, we're going around every week, sitting down with the best of the best. So how do you feel being nominated?
I mean, shoot, I feel like I'm just doing my job, and this is just part of it. But it's cool. Got some opportunity last week and just made the most of it. So let's just keep that energy rolling.
So let me ask you this before we really dive in.
Yeah.
So 105 yards from scrimmage yards, 80 receiving, 25 rushing. So you're a running back or a wide receiver?
Yeah. I'm a running back. I'm a running back, but you know that screen game was rolling, so the stats look like receiver stats.
Bruh, you should have said wide receiver. See, that's a rookie move. In 4 years, when you up for a new deal, do you want you want the running back money or the wide receiver money? Big difference.
Hey, obviously the wide receiver money.
Okay. So are you a
Okay, you're
running
right. No,
back
you're right. You're right.
or a receiver?
I'm a receiver. I'm a receiver if you need me to be.
There you go.
I can be whatever you need me to be.
I love that. That's it. That's it. So talk to me a little bit, man, because everybody around the waiver wires and the waiver wires, fantasy football, that's a big deal. Everyone's talking about pick you up right now. What makes your game special?
Well, first of all, I got speed. Um, but second of all, I can use that speed to finish plays, get in the end zone. I mean, I know fantasy points matter, but I think the combination of being able to catch the ball and run the ball is, um, kind of my game. So doing that week in, week out is something I take pride in.
That's right. That's dope. 5th round pick, 10th running back taken in this year's draft, last year's draft. Why do you think so many teams missed out on you?
You know what? When I really think about it, I think I never really showed that on tape. I never really one time last year like just said, okay, like I'm gonna turn the Jets and go. So I think that was one thing, and just things leading up to that, I think made them look past me. But that's just part of the process. That they're evaluating you and everything you do, who you are as a person, what you do on the field, and I mean, I guess there were 9 other guys that they thought were better than me, and that's just something that will make my story better. That's all.
What was your story going into the draft? Like, what did you think? I ain't gonna hold you, bro. For me, everyone was like, yo, he's late rounds. I went to UCF, 6'5", 230, called me Terrible Owens the first couple years. Then I was Baby T.O., but I couldn't move, right? Had too much muscles. And so I don't know why, but I thought I was going to sneak into the first day. Back in the day, round 1, 2, and 3 was the first day of the broadcast. And then the second day was 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th. So I don't know why I thought I was going to get in the first day, but I didn't. I cried. I didn't end up getting drafted in the 4th round to the Denver Broncos. So going into the draft, what was your expectations?
Man, I wanted to go day 2. I mean, obviously, day 2 is it's 2 through 3. So I'm like, man. And I watched my brother go. We had this big party set up, and I watched my brother go on day 2. And then, I mean, every pick after that, man, it was like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear in here, but I was like, fuck, like every single time, like, damn. And like this weight just kept on, like, it felt like there was a weight on my forehead. Like every single time I saw somebody go by, and I just got so stressed, bro. And I had to get up and walk out. Like we had cameras, I had to rip the mic off, and said bye to my mom, my brother, congratulated him. Like I was happy for him, but man, like, you know what I mean? Like I still didn't know where I was gonna go. So
isn't it painful?
Man, yeah.
It's so painful. I went through the same thing.
Yeah, that was painful for me. And that drive back, yeah, I don't even want to relive that. So, but everything happens for a reason. Like, if I went day 2, would I be with the Bengals, or where would I be right now? So, you just gotta trust the process and trust that you're in the right place, the right time, and you gotta just make the most of the opportunity.
Brandon Marshall sitting here with Chase Brown, Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Week candidate. The brother that you're talking about is your twin brother. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, but we'll get there. Bro, you're fashion. Doing a little research. I ain't seen too many rookies that put it on like that.
Yeah, it's evolving. If you go from week 1 to now, it's definitely evolving. It's evolving. So I'm just gonna keep on trying to put some fits together. I try and plan a week ahead, so I already got something planned for this week. So hopefully,
do you have a stylist?
Hopefully that one. No, I kind of just put together myself. Like I follow a bunch of style things on TikTok and Instagram, and then yeah, I kind of throw it together.
What was the inspiration of the last outfit you wore? I love that. Was it like I don't know if we can call it this for a man, but like, is it a crop top? Top?
Yeah, it was like it was like it's called a box hoodie or not a box jacket, like a box fit jacket. So it's just cropped a little bit more and it's a
Fly.
little bit wider. And originally, like I wasn't gonna wear it with what I had on. So like what I thought I was gonna wear, I threw on. I'm like, man, I can't do this. So I just started kind of throwing things together
Love
and
it.
got a little insight from my girl, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's
Oh,
do it.
that's
Like
the
it
trick.
just kind of felt right. It felt what I had on at first didn't feel right, and that felt right. So
So
it
that's the
was,
trick. TikTok pages, follow TikTok pages, and listen to your girl. I be seeing y'all posting, bro, together. I know she be
yeah.
fly too. But you talked about the Cincinnati Bengals, right? You said if you went day 2, you could potentially be in a different situation. The likelihood of that is extremely high. What
Mhm.
opportunity do you have in Cincinnati? Why are you in love, or are you in love with Cincinnati?
Wow, my love. It's just, I mean, number one, the city's great. The fans, I don't have an experience anywhere else, but the fans are amazing. They come on support every single week. And then, just the way that I'm being used in the offense right now, I'm able to be explosive. So just growing on that, growing every single week, and it's an opportunity league. So just making sure that when there's an explosive play to be made, or um, a one-on-one opportunity, like I got to win those and I got to finish those plays. So that's just what I'm focused on right now, and that's my job. So
Yeah. Well, like you said, the screen game was rolling. I got a couple more
mhm.
questions for you, Bo. But I got to hit this one. How deflating was it losing Joe Burrow for the season?
Yeah, no, Joe Burrow definitely brings a different energy to the table. Like you can feel it, but it's definitely disappointing because you know how much work he put into the season, um, how much passion he has for the game of football, and I know watching um, these games that's painful for him, and I hate seeing somebody go through that. So um, praying for him. I know he's gonna uh, make a huge comeback from this injury. It's just timing, but on the flip side of that, Jake Browning. I mean,
Bro.
he's a dude too. So, uh, it's not like we feel like we can't go win games with Jake.
Well,
Like
we did.
Jake's a dude. He's playing at an extremely high level, and just the way that he's been able to step up and make these big time throws, and show that he's a a good a great quarterback in this league. And he's making the most of his opportunity. It's just, it's pretty cool to be a part of and watch week in, week out. Because um, if
Bruh,
you go watch his tape, he's killing it. He's
is he
killing it.
really that good, or is this just a moment, bro? Everybody, like you said, y'all still thought y'all was going to win games. I understand it. I get it. But, bro, none of us outside looking in was like this thing was going to hold together. And these
Yeah,
last two
he's a
games been
dude. Jake's a
crazy.
dude. Jake's a dude. Yeah, like obviously the media is going to be heavy on him. They're going to compare him to Joe. What the differences are, what he doesn't do as good, and I mean like that's just media. And I mean he's just focused on ball. He's focused on winning games, and that's all that matters.
Right. So earlier you talked about your twin brother. Your twin brother played safety, was drafted before you. That was it was a great night, but brutal night for you as well. But he
Yeah,
played safety
yeah.
for the Philadelphia Eagles. What the hell happened in Dallas?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm
You're
not even
tw-
gonna comment on that. I
y'all
know, I
twins. You feel
know.
what he feel.
Losing sucks. Losing sucks, and I'm not a part of that organization or team, so I'm not gonna comment on what's going on. I'm sure it's just a little rut, and they'll bounce back. But uh, yeah, that's all.
All right,
We'll just
before we
leave it at
let you,
that right
I
there.
love it, but I know. Listen, I have twins as well, boy and a girl, and I know y'all feel each other's pain. So I know you know.
Of course. You already know. Yeah, like he's the first person I call after a game,
Wow,
and as you can probably guess, it's the same thing for him. He calls me right after a game, so I
bro.
know what's going on. I know what's going through his head. It's just bouncing back next week. That's all it is.
That's right. That's right. Last one for you before we let you go. Really appreciate you, bro. And it's nice to have your name on this board as a candidate this week. It's a big deal. Top 5 running backs of all time. I'm not going to put you in a space where you got to do the active guys because you're active. Give me the 5 that inspired you the most.
So growing up, I didn't really watch like football like crazy. So obviously you got like the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, LT. So obviously, guys like that. But 2 guys that really motivated me to learn how to run routes and catch the ball were like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, and just watching them play, especially through like high school and college, like I'm like, man, these guys are crushing it. Like, and the way that the running back position was evolving, I knew that like being able to do both was going to be important. So definitely those 2 guys, and I mean the 3 that I named. So I would say on my list, those guys right there.
I love it. Remember what I said earlier, bro. I love this stat sheet. I love this stat line. We went over 100, 80 through the air, 20 on the ground. A couple of years, we're going to get that wide receiver money. Because the running back position is
wide receiver
evolving.
money.
That's right.
Right.
Keep this going.
Right.
Hey, appreciate you, Chase Brown.
Appreciate you.
Yo, young legend, Pepsi, Zero Sugar, Rookie of the Week candidate. Love, bro.
Sounds good.
Chase.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you.
Well. Brandon, takeaways from Chase.
First time on the board. It's pretty cool seeing these guys emerge, right? Like, who would have thought that he would be a focal point of this offense with Mixon in front of him, and then also post Joe Burrow, right? So, like, I love this segment because we're getting to learn the next and hear from the next superstars in the NFL, and you don't know where they're going to come from. Like, this dude was overlooked. He was a 10th running back taken in the 5th round. Could he potentially be the next Eckler? Can he potentially be, the next superstar that came out of nowhere and everybody overlooked? So it was cool hearing from him, and he got game.
Yeah.
And he has a twin brother, too. They're kind of cool. They dress nice. A lot to learn.
Love that. I wish I had a twin.
You wish you had a twin?
Yeah, I feel like if I had a twin, we can cause some real issues.
Oh,
be
my
lit.
goodness.
Listen, if you want to go ahead and vote for any of the nominees this week, make sure you head over to NFL.com/voting/rookies. That's NFL.com/voting/rookies. And this has been Yo Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, NFL Rookie of the Week. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and talk some Patrick Mahomes. Now, you said that Pat was giving it to people on the sidelines. I mean, I guess. It was definitely out of character for a quarterback. We usually see, always keep his composure, and he's pretty even-keeled. And, you don't think of Patrick Mahomes as a tough guy or, throwing the iPad or the surface on, the sidelines. And he's not somebody who you see, who lets his emotions get the best of him. But that was not the case in the Chiefs' loss to the Bills. And the biggest story still remains his meltdown, if you want to call that. He was unhappy about the offensive offsides call that went ahead and negated a crazy go-ahead touchdown in the final minute. Now, if you remember, Travis Kelce catches the ball. He then passes it behind him, and then it results in a touchdown. But that touchdown was then taken away because of the offensive offsides call committed by Kadarius Toney. And slow blinker, as they say. Mahomes said Monday, so yesterday, that he actually regrets the outburst. So if you also remember, post-game, he meets up with Josh Allen, who's his boy, and he's overheard, and there's been a lot of variations of what exactly was said, but the gist of it was like, worst call that's ever been made, terrible call. And a lot of people had opinions on that. I was one of them. I was one of those people who were just kind of like, I get that's your boy, but if I'm Josh Allen, I'm like, yo, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, why are you in my face telling me this?
Yeah.
Like, I just won. Like, come up to me, dap me up, and if you want to like text me afterwards, like, yo, can you believe that? Do that. But why are you like in my face? Like,
I just lost to the Eagles
know
a
what I
couple
mean?
weeks ago.
Like,
and, not
I
similar
just
fashion,
won. We
but
just
it went
won
down to
this
the wire.
game. Come dap me up. Be like, yo, good game, bro. Like, whether or not you feel a certain way about the officiating, which is your prerogative, which is also fair. I feel like the officiating's been terrible this season. That has nothing to do with me. Like, go cry to Andy Reid. Don't cry to me. Like, I don't care. So in that regard, I was a little bit like, Pat, a little bit sore loser. Like, you supposed to be big dog. You supposed to be the Tom Brady of this generation. You can't be doing that in the huddle.
Well,
like,
it's interesting, right? Because this is the first time he's been in a situation where they're really in unfamiliar territory. Like, are they done? Absolutely not. But they know that there's chink in the armor.
Right.
And so you're seeing him a bit uncomfortable. And when you're losing, a lot of people show you a different side of him as well. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about the Tom Brady, the era, like Tom Brady, like, he's human,
But
Patrick
you've never
Mahomes
seen Brady do that. Like, if he loses
we have.
You've seen him lose to Peyton Manning and then be like, instead of just like good game, and then post game rip the refs, you've seen him do it to his face.
Remember Nick Foles, a couple of times, walked off the field, didn't even shake his hand.
No.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but it's like, that's just like, yo, you're mad that you lost. Like, I'd rather Patrick Mahomes had done that than get in Josh Allen's face and like in a moment where you're supposed to be congratulating him, like, yo, good game. Especially because that's your boy.
I think that's walking off the field is more disrespectful.
Maybe, but like at least walking off the field, you're not in like, I don't know. I feel like not only that, but that's like your boy in real life. Like, you can't just be like, yo, good game, my guy, and then like go post game and like rip the. Why are you doing that?
But look how
he
literally lost it. He blacked out. Right, like you said, we've never really seen him in that state. We've seen him competitive. We've seen him get fiery and chippy, especially with DNs and stuff. Like, I love that emotion. But now losing, it's bringing out a deeper like competitive Mahomes. We've never seen him in this state before. But for me, I would have to me, Tom Brady walking off is more disrespectful. Like, it's in that same type of conversation.
I liked how Kelsey handled it. Like, he congratulated Josh Allen. Then he said something along the lines like, man, that one's gonna suck. The greatest play I ever committed and it doesn't even count, or something like.
Well, never,
something like along the line. Like, that was like, then it's like, instead of going to your boy and being like, oh, terrible officiating, like that, just basically that's a nice way of saying like, you ain't really beat me, the refs did. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't win them all. And I think also what makes it interesting, or what makes it people like a little look at Patrick Mahomes like a little bit of a sore loser, is like, let's not go ahead and pretend. And I love Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, so this is not me knocking him. It's just me keeping it real. Like, the Chiefs get a lot of calls in their favor.
Right.
He gets the Jordan treatment. He gets the LeBron treatment. He gets the Kobe treatment. He gets the superstar treatment. You know what I mean? Like, the Brady treatment. That's, and he's earned it. I'm not knocking it. That's the way. People who like, oh, Chiefs get all the calls. Yeah, because like they've earned it. Like, that's how the game works. So, like, you get mad calls in your favor. The one time you don't get a call in your favor, and let's call a spade. Your man's was offside.
Right.
Like,
Simple.
It wasn't like it was a call. It was like offensive holding, and it wasn't really a hold, or like he was offsides. Like, you can't be, and I understand, like, there's supposed to be a courtesy. The ref's supposed to tell you to back up. Like, I get that. But he was offsides. Like, you can't be mad at the refs for calling a play, for calling a violation that was actually a violation.
That's right. And you, in retrospect, and now he's came out yesterday and said he regretted his actions. He shouldn't treat not only the refs like that, but nobody like that. And he also said he regrets how he treated Josh Allen. But their emotions are running so high in these moments.
Oh, no,
where,
completely, yeah.
You react this way, Andy Reid as well, but then when you go watch the film, you're like, oh, shit, like, slow blinker, Kadarius Toney, like, you didn't do what we always do as wide receivers. Like, hey, ref, I'm on the ball. Even in these situations, tense moment, it's 2-minute drill, it's a sense of urgency at its all-time high. You still got to peek at the ref. Hey, ref, I'm good. Okay, cool. Right? Like, do your job.
Right.
And this is the problem with the Chiefs is, it's I think they could overcome not having Tyreek Hill because they've already done that, or some type of dynamic playmaker like that. But you're playing with guys that are beating themselves. And it's interesting because Tony was in a situation with them last year. They won the Super Bowl. You would think that you have a championship type of mindset where champions don't beat themselves. So why are you still making these mistakes? Why are you still fumbling the ball in crucial moments when you're supposed to have two hands on the ball, not one hand on the ball? Why are we still dropping balls like this, wide receivers? Like, you can't beat yourself. It's almost like the moment is too big for them. It's almost like they're caving to the pressure, which is really interesting. And that's why Mahomes and the Chiefs are on notice. You know why, Ashley? Because if you go to the standings, guess what we have here, Ashley Nicole Moss?
Well, before you bring that up, let's go ahead and let me tee this up real quick, because that's the next topic here is, the Chiefs haven't looked so hot this year. They look like a far cry from the Kansas City Chiefs that were Super Bowl contenders just last year. The AFC has belonged to Kansas City, I feel like, for at least half this decade, in one way, shape, or form. But now, like I said, it's looking like although Super Bowl is always on their goal list, if you will, it looks like they may have to travel away from Arrowhead to possibly get back there, which, Arrowhead is true home field advantage. It is loud in there, and they make it very uncomfortable. Looking how the AFC is shaping up, looking how the Chiefs have been playing, does the reign of this team and Patrick Mahomes end this season if they don't win the AFC?
Ashley, why are we talking about the AFC? Why aren't we just talking about the AFC West?
I'm talking about the AFC as a whole.
No. But hold on. You got to win your division first.
Okay, this is true.
You got to win your division. I mean, have we seen it? Do we believe it? Mm-hmm. The Denver Broncos is one game out. They're one game out. Russell Wilson. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Well,
Are you
first of
kidding
all,
me?
I do want to say congratulations to Russell and Sierra. They welcomed their baby, a baby girl, Amora, I believe her name is.
Amora.
Princess
Wilson, a.k.a. Let's Ride. They did a lot of riding. They had another baby. And now they still riding. And now they one game out. We wrote them off. They were 1-5. And since then, what are they? What's their records? 5-1, 6-1? It's unbelievable. And so when you look at the Denver Broncos, Ashley, they have the Lions. Okay? We'll get back on track here. But we gotta discuss it. They have the Lions. And I told you a couple weeks ago, I don't know. Because we said, they got the Houston Texans. They go down there, come down to the wire. Ball's in Russell Wilson's hands. They lose it. Mr. Clutch didn't come through in that moment. Mm-hmm. But Kobe missed some shots. MJ missed some shots. Mm-hmm. But then we also looked at the schedule and we said, the Lions is another game. Now, look, any given Sunday is football. Anything can happen. But if I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm looking at the Lions like, okay, we cool. We good. They have the Raiders. They have the Patriots. And who else they have? They have one other team. They should be good. They'll win out. But then when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and look at their schedule, let's look at the Kansas City Chiefs real quick. So let me go to the Chiefs. Where are you at? AFC West, boom. You have the Chiefs with the Patriots. They'll win. The Raiders, I don't know. This is my head, not my heart, but I don't know. The Bengals, I don't even know this quarterback's name, but he's playing exceptionally well, winning a couple of games in a row.
Get to the point, Brandon. Get to the point.
Okay. No point. I'm just going on a rant. I'm just showing love to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, will probably win the AFC West. And Ashley, your question about slipping, the Mahomes era slipping out of their hands, I would say no. It's Patrick
not
Mahomes.
the Mahomes era. I'm saying the era where the Kansas City Chiefs are the team that constantly comes out of the AFC. Is that era starting to maybe dwindle back a little bit? Now it's a little bit more open. You have obviously Baltimore, you have Miami, is now the playing field getting a little bit more even when it comes to the battle of the AFC, and it's not just the Chiefs conference to lose anymore.
It's definitely wide open because Josh Allen, can they get back on track? I mean, we still have a lot of football left, but they have some things to clean up. What's going to happen with Stephon Diggs? You got Lamar Jackson. He has his core guys. Their defense is back on track. You have Joe Burrow. So definitely it's going to be a challenge in the AFC. They're loaded there. But no, everything goes through Patrick Mahomes. He's that guy. So it starts with them. They have to go out there this year, and they're going to. I think they're going to prioritize a playmaker. They need another pass catcher. Hell, they may even need two because Travis Kelce's getting older. So it always starts with the Chiefs. And then also you got to look at what makes them special is their defense. Like, he's never had a defense like this. So even this year, they can still get back on track because they have a defense. Now just don't mess the game up. He may have to lean into just being the ultimate game day manager. Like, you don't have to go up there and light up the scoreboard. You don't have to go up there and light up the stat sheet. Just make sure you don't F it up. And that's difficult for a lot of guys like Patrick Mahomes.
Well, listen, we will go ahead and keep eyes on the AFC. A month left into the season, and there's still a lot of football left to be played, a lot of decisions and standings to be settled. So it's not over yet, folks. But it might be over for Justin Herbert. This is really sad news. I'm very upset to report this. Justin Herbert's season appears to be ending early. He will undergo finger surgery today if he is not already out of surgery, and there is no timetable set for his return. Now, even with Herbert, the Chargers are in the midst of yet another disappointing season, which is extremely frustrating considering the ultimate talent on their roster, both offensively and defensively. Now, I would be shocked. Many should be shocked if Brandon Staley is back next season as the head coach, but I was shocked that he was back this season. So what do I know? But is it that simple of getting a new head coach? Or does Justin Herbert really have to consider that maybe his future is not in Los Angeles? I know how I feel, and I know for me, it's 100% the coach.
I agree with you. I saw some post last night, I think on Instagram, where it was like, he's pretty much 50 and 50, right? And, it's interesting that they're like right there. And so if you bring in a coach, the right coach, that coach can not only get you over the hump to be on the other side, but they can potentially get you right where we believe, this team should be, and that's a real contender. Defensively, like, what are we talking about here? I know some guys got banged up throughout the year, but they have what they need on the defensive side to be a top 5 defense. And then offensively, they got dogs. Are you kidding me? Playmakers galore all over the field. And then they got a quarterback that, not right now, but he should be in the conversation, top 5 quarterback every single year. So, yeah, if I'm Justin Herbert, I'm not even considering, or even that's not even a thought to go somewhere else. It's just like, what are we doing at the head coaching position?
If you are the Chargers, it's baffling to me how these organizations just don't believe in history repeating itself. This is an organization that had Phillip Rivers. And yeah, you can say a lot about people who can say, Phillip Rivers was no Tom Brady. Fine. That's factual. Phillip Rivers was talented. Phillip Rivers was a talented quarterback. Phillip Rivers was a phenomenal trash talker. If you let guys in the NFL tell it, they'll be like, he's got a mouth on him. Like, he was an ultimate competitor. He should have won more than he did. And a lot of the reason why he didn't was two things. A lot. You don't think he should have?
They were great. It's just windows. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. Window, but I think window was either A, coaching, or B, the team wasn't right.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think it was just like the situation that we were just talking about. Think about that era.
They didn't even
Ben
get far.
Roethlisberger and the Steelers, Tom Brady and the Patriots, your guy Peyton Manning and the Colts.
I'm not even saying winning, but he didn't even get far.
I know, but you
didn't
got to think about who you got to go through.
You didn't get to a championship game.
I agree with you that he was a dog, like he was him. But man, that era at the quarterback, I think the number one reason why he didn't get there is because of the competition. And it's similar to what we're seeing in the AFC now with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
I say all that to say, you had Phillip Rivers, and you had him for X amount of years, and you did not win. You have Justin Herbert, who I would say, would you say he's more talented than Phillip Rivers? I would say he is. Like athletically.
Yes. But I don't know. It's hard.
No, athletically more talented than Phillip Rivers. I feel like that's a fair assessment.
Yes, he's a freak.
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
You have this freak athlete quarterback, at your disposal in his prime years with a team that from offense to defense is stacked, and you're not in the conversation for the playoffs at least, that is a direct line of blame to the person leading the organization. I have no idea how this man was even allowed back in the building after last season. Yeah. It's insane to me. You wasted yet another season, another year on this man's career, another year on Derwin James's career, another year on Keenan Allen's career, another year on Austin Eckler's career. The list goes on and on. For mediocrity, for even less than mediocrity. It's atrocious. It's a travesty. Get rid of Brandon Staley. He is not the coach that's going to take this roster, this talented young roster, to where you want to be. Let him go.
You know what they're going to do. They're going to let him go, and it's not sexy right now because it didn't happen in Carolina. But I go get Josh McCown as the head coach. Josh McCown from an offensive perspective, I think.
I say you go get Bill Belichick.
Josh McCown has that it factor, like everybody, that relatability, like McDaniels, McVay, not necessarily Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan got a little old school flavor to him, real quiet, but he moves the guys in a different way. But we talk about having like the energy and the fire. He'll have that, and then very sophisticated in ball. I think that's the move for them. But it's people are like, where does this come from? Josh McCown is the guy.
I actually like Josh McCown.
Listen to me. He'll be a head coach.
And he wanted CJ.
You know what? I need to hit him up.
He wanted CJ. There's a video.
Text him right now.
There's a video of him at CJ's pro day, and he daps him up, and they like, you looked great, and then he said something like, we'll find you a court when you're in Carolina, as we know.
And then the
owner just basically cut off all his coaching staff at the knees and went Bryce Young instead.
But why he get mad though? Like, why you get mad? You can't fire yourself as an owner, at least take some roles, the responsibilities off. Like, he gonna get mad at the coach.
Listen.
You making me look bad. I'm firing you.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the show. If you're listening on SiriusXM if you're listening on SiriusXM Faction Talk 103, this has been Paper Route. Thank you so much for listening. To everybody on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. As usual, make sure you check out the I Am Athlete social channels, YouTube channels for any of the clips that you hear on the show or anything else pertaining to all things I Am Athlete. And we will see you tomorrow. It's Hump Day. Bye, guys.